I do want to take you back out to this live image that we do have showing our XRAD radar system here at 8:03 on the East Coast and 5:03 on the West Coast as we continue to track Tropical Storm Milton. You are taking a live look at XRAD as you can see that very slow-moving storm still off the coast of Mexico at this point. Milton is gaining strength as it does travel through the Gulf on a path toward Florida, where it could potentially make landfall as a major hurricane in just a matter of days. Do want to bring in Rick Davis, meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Tampa. They're obviously keeping a very close eye on the system. Good morning, Rick. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us because I know you do have a busy few days ahead of you.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, this is a very concerning situation for us. We just came off of a major Hurricane Helene not even 10 days ago. And even in August, we had Hurricane Debbie. So we have yet another one that's going to impact the area. We're taking this very seriously.
Yeah, and first off, can you start by giving us the latest stats here on Milton? Because I know that the advisory was just issued really moments ago.
Yeah, so they did an intermediate update at 7 o'clock, and right now it's still a tropical storm. Winds currently 60 miles an hour. It's moving east at 5 miles an hour. So we're expecting, with the Hurricane Center, we coordinate with them every 6 hours or sooner if needed. And certainly this is a situation where we could have rapid intensification over the coming days. And right now, a Category 3, just before landfall, which is 120 miles an hour, gusts to 150 miles an hour is the forecast. So we're taking this very seriously. There's still significant debris from Hurricane Helene. All of our beaches, our sand dunes are gone. Most of the natural protection from storm surge is gone. We'll get better numbers on storm surge later today, but right now, catastrophic storm surge is certainly what we're expecting at this point.
We are still, as I mentioned, a few days away from landfall. So could the track itself, because the center of that cone right now pointing toward the Tampa area, so could we actually see that kind of wobble one way or another as the days progress and we do get closer?
Sure, and we actually do expect that. The Hurricane Center forecast is extremely accurate, but if you look at the cone of uncertainty, it extends from the Big Bend area all the way down to Naples area. So it's a large swath of the west coast of Florida that really needs to take this seriously. And any shift north or south by just 10 or 50 miles will have significant impacts for those areas. If you're south of the center, that's where you're going to have your highest storm surge. Anywhere near the eye wall is going to be the highest winds. And there's so much debris on the roads, and sand that was on the beaches is now in our drainage systems. So that any additional rainfall or coastal flooding would create mass problems. We have seen this in the last couple of days. We have had several flash flood warnings just from our afternoon thunderstorms, which are very typical in Florida in the late summertime. So our conditions, our soils are extremely saturated. We already have rivers that are in flood. We have low-lying areas that are still have ponds of water there. So any additional storm surge flooding, rainfall flooding is going to be a huge problem, along with wind damage. Unlike what we saw with Helene in the Tampa area, it wasn't a wind event. There was some wind damage, but it wasn't significant. It was mainly storm surge damage. But this would be a wind damage along with additional storm surge damage. So this has the potential in the Tampa area and all the way down to Fort Myers, to Naples, all the way up into the Big Bend area, Cedar Key. All these areas need to take this very seriously because any slight shift in track through the next couple of days will have a major impact on where it eventually makes landfall.
And I did want to ask, because a lot of people do talk about that cone of uncertainty and they pay very close attention to where that is actually showing on the screen. And they say, well, I'm outside of it, so I'm fine. But can you explain to folks out there why it is so important to not just pay attention to the cone itself?
Right. And so, because once it becomes a major hurricane, as it's expected to, the wind field will expand significantly. So even if you're not in a hurricane force winds, you could certainly be in tropical storm force winds. And one thing that we learned from the past storms is the storm surge. It can extend well outside of that error cone. So we have the ability now to issue storm surge warnings for areas that are outside of maybe the wind warnings. So people, especially anyone south of the track, storm surge is going to be a big concern. And we have our beaches anywhere from our Fort Myers beaches. They had damage from certainly from Ian 2 years ago, and with Helene just last week. Any additional water south of the center is going to be problematic, all the way down to the Keys. I think we're if this comes ashore as a major hurricane, we will see widespread impacts, damage, storm surge, wind, tornadoes. All of that is going to be concerned with this one.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as I mentioned, are paying such close attention to this, especially after Helene did hit. I mean, we're talking less than 2 weeks ago at this point. So is the category of the hurricane really something that people should pay attention to either? Because again, people in Florida are used to seeing these hurricanes and they will say, okay, well, it's just a category 1, 2. But that doesn't really tell the full story, right?
No, especially with the conditions that are on the ground right now today. Um, you know, that, like I mentioned earlier, our beaches, and we did storm surveys, and I live near the beach, and our famous white sand beaches are not there. They are sand dunes. You had 10 to 20 foot high sand dunes with sea oats on top of them, sea grapes, and all kinds of vegetation. That is gone. There's no more vegetation. There's no more protection, natural protection on our beaches. So even well away from the center, even if if it were to come in as a smaller storm, we have no protection on our beaches and our barrier islands. So they're extremely vulnerable. There's sand everywhere. People have just now, in some areas, got power yesterday from the storm from Helene that was a week and a half ago. So our infrastructure is very vulnerable. A lot of our power grid, they kind of, they fixed it quickly to get people power, and they're still haven't worked on the permanent solutions. So if we have these winds, these strong winds, would certainly have catastrophic and widespread power outages are possible at this point. And we're the area, the Big Bend area, the Tampa Bay area, the Fort Myers area, we're very vulnerable right now because of the conditions we've seen in the last couple weeks and 2 years ago from Ian. So we're very vulnerable, and we really want people to pay attention to the situation. And now is the time to prepare. We want people to prepare, not to panic, but to prepare, because we have 2.5 days. We're expecting conditions to deteriorate, certainly late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and Wednesday could be a very serious day here on the west coast of Florida.
All right. Meteorologist Rick Davis there with the National Weather Service over in Tampa. As always, thank you so much for joining us. And I know you have a busy few days ahead of you, so we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys be safe, and we're going to try to hunker down, and we'll be safe here too.
Yeah, be safe. Thank you again.